in diabetic patients and at a younger age, at least 10-15 years younger. And the problem is that you don't have any symptoms. So you can have chest pain, you may not have chest pain, and more than heart attacks, heart failure is also very common nowadays. The pumping gets reduced. There are very nice tests which Newberg does, for example. It's called proBNP. If you do that, you can detect who is having early heart failure. So a lot can be done, but only if you go for a checkup. Don't wait for symptoms. Say, I don't have any chest pain. Why should I go? Don't do that. It's like taking an insurance. Why you take an insurance for a car? After an accident, you can go and take the insurance now. When you have an accident, it will look after. Similarly, if you control your diabetes, you will not develop any complication. Don't wait for symptoms to come. How to prevent the complications? First of all, management of diabetes has to be good. So I've shown here 4 pillars. Okay, which pillar I put first? Diet. With all the advances which has occurred, we are now in 2019 going to 2020 now. Even then, diet forms the major part of the treatment of diabetes. Okay, some dietary control, it's a lifestyle disorder. You have to have it. Exercise, equally important for controlling diabetes, preventing heart attacks, preventing complications. Exercise is very important. Every one of you has a phone. Okay, in that phone, I'm sure you have a program which you can just put the step count. See that you get your 10,000 steps every day. I think we'll talk about that. Medicines, once you prescribe medicines, most people stop it. After some time they think, oh, we don't need medicines. You may need, you may not need. There are some who will reverse, who may go back, some who cannot reverse. It depends on, each patient is different. So whatever the doctor tells you is better to follow. Finally, you need education. Because you don't understand about all this. That is why sessions like this are very important. If you don't understand what you're doing, you'll forget this, you'll forget that, you'll forget that also. So that pillar also becomes very important. These are the 4 important pillars. Okay. So diet, I'm not going to give you a full lecture on diet, but you have to change the way you eat. We are all mostly rice eaters in south. In say north and west, it may be more of wheat. What do we do when we eat? We take the plate, put this rice right in the middle. That's what we start, isn't it? Put it, rice, you know. Then at the side, if there is space, we'll put something else. Most of we don't put anything. Some curry or something we'll put, but then first round with sambar, second round with rasam, third round with curd, fourth round with something else, you know. So it's all rice. We have more than enough evidence to show, published studies now, to show that rice, the more rice you eat, the more the diabetes comes. It's also very difficult to control because carbohydrate increases your glucose levels. So first thing that you should do is, when you take any plate for lunch or for dinner, fill it up with vegetables. That's something which we don't take. Whether you're a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, doesn't matter, you take vegetables. Okay, fresh vegetables, green leafy vegetables. Many of you in the audience may have anemia. You just take greens, your anemia will come down. They are full of iron. Okay, so vegetables, different colors if you take. Each color gives you something. One will give you carotenoids, one will give you something else, one will give you something else. They are all good. So you have white, green, red, pink, whatever color vegetable you have, put it all on your plate. Little you put. That's enough. That's an easy way to remember. Then you need protein. Especially in India, especially among vegetarians, we don't get enough protein. That's why our muscle mass is not good. That's why in the Olympic Games, although it's changing now, but in the Olympic Games, you know which sport India wins a gold medal? Shooting. Why? Because you have to stand absolutely still. No movement at all. Okay? That's why they win the gold medal. Not in running, this, that. No muscle. We don't have muscle. Okay? So if you have enough muscle, then your sugars will get under control and all disease can be prevented. Now, for non-vegetarians, you can, in that space, you can put chicken, you can put fish, white of the egg, whatever you want, you can put there. For vegetarians, you have to use pulses. That is the main source of protein for you. Because milk you can take, you can add a little mushroom or something, soya you can have. But then Bengal gram, green gram, black gram, these are all the things which give you protein. Without that, you will not get enough protein if you're a vegetarian. The last corner, you can have a little bit of rice. It's not that you should not have zero rice, cut out rice. You cannot. you will not get carbohydrate at all. You won't get fuel. You need little bit, but you don't need much. Today we eat 80% of our diet from carbs. 40-50% is enough. Rest of it should come from this and from that. That's why the plate itself is made like that. Okay? Exercise. Very important. And it not only helps you to control diabetes, but blood pressure, cholesterol, heart disease. It increases your good cholesterol or HDL. That's another WhatsApp thing. And I get irritated every time. It's been going on for 5 years now. I don't know how long it will go on. There is no such thing called cholesterol. All of you must have got it. American Heart Association finally said that it's all bogus. The companies, pharmaceutical companies have cheated people of $5 trillion. There is no such thing. No need for statin. There is no such thing called HDL and LDL. There is no such thing called HDL and LDL cholesterol. It's all rubbish. Total lies. Don't even. But once it's circulated 1 million times, everybody believes this as the truth. So if I tell you, you think I'm lying now. I have no shares in any pharmaceutical company or in statin company or anything. So I'm just telling you how sad I feel that it took us years to kind of reduce heart disease, and now, there's no such thing, and then so on, the whole thing gets reversed. There is a good HDL, good cholesterol called HDL. There is a bad cholesterol called LDL. It has to be kept under control. Okay, that nothing has changed. Fundamentally, nothing has changed. So, an exercise can help you to do all that. Okay. There are 3 components of exercise. One is aerobic exercise. Walking, jogging, swimming, okay, cycling. That we all know about. But 2 more you must know. One is resistance training. You don't have to lift a 100 kilo weight or 50 kilo weight. But take a 4 kg weight or a 2 kg weight and just do exercise. Everybody who is above 50 should do this. Okay? We develop what is called a sarcopenia. We lose muscle. So we keep losing muscle and all the muscle gets filled up with fat. And that's what is bad for us. Okay? You just take the weight and keep doing that. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, lift the weight and then do like that and take it forward. You will find that your muscles are building up. You will get strength. We published a paper last year, 2 years ago, in the Lancet, where we showed, in a big multi-center study, we showed grip strength. But your grip determines how much you will live. If your grip power comes down, you will die soon. If your grip is good, you will live for another 10 years, 15 years. How do you improve your grip? You can do it. Just take that thing and press it every day. Your grip improves. With that, your lifespan improves. So simple. Okay? So that's very important. That's where the weight training comes from. Third is flexibility. Most people after 70, 80 don't die of heart attack. They die due to falls. They'll trip and fall. They'll break their femur. They'll break their head, a head injury. They'll have something. You must be able to stand. Any time you must be able to stand without falling. For that you need flexibility. You have to practice what I just did with one leg, another leg, bend down, do that. Then you will not fall so easily. So that is also very important. Balance. Right? So there are 3 components of exercise. One is aerobic, you move from place to place, and then weight training, and third is balance. Okay? How can you...
Flexibility, what is the exercise?
Yeah, flexibility is... flexibility comes along with your limbs are flexible, and therefore it's not stiff, and so you don't fall. Suppose your leg is stiff, you tend to fall. Okay? So the balance that you get is your flexibility. You must be able to bend and touch your toes, what we are taught in school, okay? Or turn from side to side. All that will prevent a sudden fall. So that is what is supposed to do. How can you increase your exercise if you are not going for a regular walk or you're not going for things? You can take your dog for the walk, okay? Oh, I can't walk here, there's so much of pollution. If there is a gym, go to the gym. But don't do this. Don't take your dog for a walk like that, okay? The dog gets exercise, but you're not getting the exercise. And don't do this. This is not a photoshopped image. It's an actual image. This shows how people's mind has changed. There is 24-hour fitness center. There are people who are going to the fitness center, but nobody's using the stairs. When there is a escalator at the side, they feel, why should I use the stairs when there's an escalator? Why not use the stairs when you're going for 24-hour fitness? You're not a disabled person who cannot walk. Add to your exercise. Whenever you see the stairs, use it. I walked up today when I came here, 2 floors. I didn't use any lift when I came here. God has given you your legs. Use it. Your heart gets stronger when you do that. Okay? And then 10,000 steps. All of you have a phone. In that phone, you program it so that your count gets added. And then try to get your 10,000 steps. Let me tell you a secret. If you don't go for your walk in the morning, you will not get your 10,000 steps. You will never get it. You have to do 4,000-5,000 steps in the morning if you have any chance of reaching 10,000. Okay? If you aim for 10,000, you'll at least reach 8 or 9. A totally sedentary person does between 1,500 to 2,000. You're sitting all the time like this, you'll still get about 1,000. That's the most sedentary. Slightly active, you'll get 5, 6. That's okay. For an older person, it's probably okay. Aim for 10. If you aim for 10, you will be fit. So that's how you do that. Okay? One of the things you can do is you can walk about. You have a room like this. When you get a call, we all get calls. What do? We sit and we talk. Why? Walk and talk. Okay? You'll get 1,000 steps like that every time you walk. But don't walk down the stairs. Don't walk talking and crossing the road and get killed. So in a safe place, in your own bedroom, for example, you can do that. Okay? Stress reduction is very important. Apart from all this, if you want long life, you must reduce your stress. That's where yoga and meditation comes in. Okay? Yoga is not a religion. Yoga is just posture, mind, controlling the mind, and doing some pranayama, which is very important. Breathing is very important. Take through one nostril, leave through the other. Take through that nostril, leave through the other. Inhalation should be half of exhalation, or exhalation will be double of inhalation. So if you have 5 count there, 10 counts when you leave it. And repeat. Take it through your mouth, and then leave it through one. Again, that should be double of the inhalation, and do it through the other one. 5 minutes, 8 minutes, that's it. You will be completely stress-free. Nobody can avoid stress. Just now, I'm sure Dr. Velu got a call and he went out and he had to come back again. Stress is there all the time. Okay? You cannot avoid it. But when you have your stress under control, then nothing can affect you. So, life of moderation. Lastly, just a few slides about what is new. Self-monitored glucose, you all know. So, if you do your own glucose testing, that's been around, only for 20-30 years. When I started with my father, there was only urine sugar. We used to do Benedict's test, dipstick, that's all we had. Then came the glucometers, different, you had to wash it, then you had all kinds of old things which are so bad that you've never done. Today's glucometers are very good. They also have connection to your cell phone, it'll give you readings, it'll give you graphs, it'll give you all that. But then, it's a static one. It just tells you, this minute, what is the sugar, okay? Today we have got what's called as continuous glucose monitoring. So there are different varieties of continuous glucose monitoring, and this is one popular one which has come, and this is the Freestyle Libre. Just put a little patch, and then you'll get your blood sugars continuously for 14 days. 100 blood sugars in a day. How does it come out like that? It'll come out, that's how you put it, just a little patch there, you apply it, and then you can get the graphs. You'll get graphs like that, each one is 1 day, okay? And that's the first week. So this is a patient who just came, just a random patient I picked up. Sugars are very high. Now you want that grey area, okay? So there's a new metric which has come. Earlier it was just fasting sugar that you measure. Then you start with postprandial blood sugar. Then HbA1c came, 3 months control, below 7%. We all talked about that. Today is a new metric called as time in range, or TIR. How much of the time of the day you are within that grey area. So there's 70 is lowest and 180 is highest. So within that, you must have your whole day. Ideally 100%, but at least 70% of the day you should be under control. Now look at this. When he came on the first day, it's 0%. Time in range is 0%. Not even 1 minute he is under control. As the week went, I've given a prescription, and then I'm just seeing after that whether the prescription worked. You can see slowly it's coming down. Started touching normal, more and more normal. Now all the yellows means it's high. Now it's almost under control. The time in range has become 25%, 40%, 50%. As you go there, it's becoming almost normal. This man said, why don't you put it once more, doctor? I'll see whether the next 2 weeks is okay. You won't believe it. 100% under control. Same person who had like that. Earlier it was not possible. What you will do, for example, you will check here and say my sugar is under good control. Or you will check there and say my sugar is not at all under control. Both are correct. But there are different times of the day. Okay, people didn't know that there's a dynamic pattern by which the sugar went. They're only checking once and thinking that's my only sugar for the day. That's why they'll come back sometimes to early and say, my sugar cannot be so high. It's wrong. They'll come and say, every lab faces that. If it's normal, they're very happy. Huh? If it's high, no, it's wrong. Lab is wrong, not me. Okay? It depends on when it is done and where. Look at that. It's just 1 hour earlier it was so high, then it came down, and again it went up. You test here, you would say you're normal. You test there, you would say you're not under normal. So it is changing all the time. So you need something like this to measure the continuous glucose monitoring. Okay? So those are the 4 metrics: fasting, postprandial, HbA1c, and glycemic variability, and time and range, at least 70% of the day. So my final mantra to you is, as a kind of summary, eat less, okay, if you want to lose weight, walk more or do any exercise more, get enough sleep, that's very important. See, some days, very rarely I miss my walk, but sometimes what would happen is, I would have come back, it will be midnight, I would have traveled, I would have come, it will be 1 o'clock when I go to bed. The big temptation to sleep only 4 hours, 4.5 hours, get up at 5:30 and then go for a walk. Dangerous, don't do that. Skip the walk that day, get your sleep, because sleep is equally important. Okay? You can always make up your walk later, but your sleep is as important as your walk, and reduce stress. Okay? So I wanted to show you a couple of slides. That's our center in Gopalapuram, which we started in 1991, and those are the places where we have our branches today. We have 50 branches in 9 states of India and 32 cities now, and we have 480,000 registered patients. It's the world's largest electronic diabetes registry. We have 1,400 staff who work with us and 140 diabetologists who work for me. So my last slide, and just give you the take-home messages. So diabetes has become a huge public health problem in India. It wasn't like that in my father's days, but it's definitely become that. But the good news is that by good control of diabetes, all complications can be avoided. One can have a long and healthy life despite diabetes. I just published a paper last week. It was a unique paper, first time in the world, on patients who have completed 90 years of age and are doing well. It's there in PubMed. If you put PubMed 90 years diabetes, it will come. It's published in American Journal. For the first time in the world, we have shown that people, it's a large series, not a small series, 325 patients, that particular series, I have more now, who have finished minimum of 90 years of age. Minimum age should be 90 to be in that paper. Some have finished 95, and one of them last week celebrated his 100th birthday. Okay, he's crossed 100 years. So I was taught, when I was a student, I was taught that for every year of diabetes, your 1 year of age gets added. So my teachers taught me that if you're 40 years old and you're 20 years of diabetes, you're like 60 years old. Your arteries are 60 years old. That's what we are taught, standard teaching. This man, and all those who had above 90, this man has diabetes, he's still alive. Okay? He has diabetes of 60 years, 60. He's now 100 years old. If you add that, he's 160 years old. Okay? So it's amazing what technology has done, what control of diabetes has done. In 2013, I published the first paper in the world not beaten so far in the last 6 years, where I showed that patients with type 2 diabetes can live for a minimum of 40, 50 years. I had a large series there which I published. They wouldn't believe it. American editors wouldn't believe it. In fact, the guy came here. He said, show me those cases. I showed him. He said, this is amazing. I want to publish it. It got published in 1 day. That night, it became the top 10 papers ever published in diabetes in the world. Got into the first 10, then moved up, it came to the top 3 papers ever published in the world. And they came from India, using low cost thing. All the big countries in the world could not do that. Again, this paper is unique. That was based on duration. This is based on age. And now showing the people live up to 90, 95, 100 years of age with diabetes. Okay? So that's the good news that I have for you today. I can also publish another paper, which I'm not, where I can show you people who are only 40 years old, who already developed kidney failure, or died, or this, or lost vision, or had heart attack, or that. When we publish that, I can show you that also. So both are going on. Same time in society, this is happening, that is happening. The choice is yours. You decide how you look after yourself. We are all here to help you. We are in a wonderful institution which gives you world-class service. And so make full use of it. And I'm sure that all of you, one day who have diabetes, will invite me like this man did for your 100th birthday. Thank you. Some questions? Yeah, sure. Yeah, more than happy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohan. I don't think we could have had a better individual to give us guidance on today's topic. 5 minutes for questions. Rohan, you can take the mic around. Hello, sir.
You already have it. Yes, Chris. Yes, sir.
Good evening, doctor. I find that in US, when you talk about carbohydrates and protein in the food, which is the main one of the recommendations to control diabetes, I find that quinoa rice in the US does a lot of good in keeping the diabetes and really comes down fast.
Yeah.
Now, quinoa is very expensive here. Now, would a 50-50 mix of rice and millets, would that be an equivalent to this food?
Yeah, so very valid point about quinoa. So quinoa is a very high protein food, and that's why it reduces the sugar. So there's no doubt about it. First of all, it's not our usual meal, so and it's very expensive, as you say. So for the whole population to convert into that, I mean, do it if you want to, but I don't see any particular reason. First of all, there are no long-term studies, by the way. Okay, those who promote that had some bogus papers put saying Harvard did this. I collaborated with Harvard. I asked him if there's no such study has been done. He only called us on the phone and said, will you do a study? He said, we will do it. That's it. By the time he said Harvard has done the study. These are all, bogus. A lot of fake things are there. We're very careful about that. So, having said that, it's a good thing. There's no doubt about it. Millets again are good. So, because millets are the original, unpolished grain that we had. But we have just published a paper, and it came out in the papers, a lot of controversy about this when we published that. All the millets in the market today, if you go to the general supermarket and then you buy the millet, they're all polished, highly polished. We had stereoscopic, zoom microscopic things to show what an actual millet looks like and what is available. It's all polished, just like the white rice, okay? So it is not what you take, but whether it's polished or not. That seems to be the thing. Wheat also, if you take whole wheat, it is good. Again, wheat belly, there's another fake going on. Wheat belly, wheat you eat this, you get that. People keep on writing fake. So rice, if you take brown rice, old brown rice you take, it's healthy. But people don't like brown rice. So we have now, pioneered a rice which is available in all the supermarkets if you go. It's called Dr. Mohan's high fiber rice. It is white rice with very high fiber, 5 times higher fiber, resistant starch, tastes just like white rice, doesn't taste like brown rice, and the sugar doesn't go up. The GI, the glycemic index of that is the same as brown rice, okay? That's a breakthrough product. So there are healthier varieties of rice if you want to take, but whatever it is, rice is still rice, it's still carbohydrate. So that is why I said the formula is not changing from one to the other, but cutting down on one of that, adding more vegetables. If you're not having diabetes, fruit also can be taken. Large number of fruits you can take if you don't have it. If you have diabetes, you can't eat unlimited fruit. Fruits contain fructose, and therefore your sugar will go up if you eat too much of it. But 1 or 2 fruits per day, even for a person diabetes, is good. If you're not diabetic, you can have 3-4 fruits a day. Plenty of vegetables. These two, if you do, you're already healthy. You're already cut down your cancer risk, your heart attack risk, your obesity risk, your diabetes risk, your cholesterol risk. Everything you cut down. Take less of rice. Take more of veggies, more of pulses. What we need is protein. So the protein need not come only from quinoa or something. You can take protein itself. It gives you legumes, gives you all the protein that you need. Fish is good. Chicken is good. So if you take fatty fish, it's supposed very good for the heart. Chicken, lean chicken is also quite good. It gives you a very good source of protein. So see that you take more protein in your plate, vegetables in your plate. The rest of it, your stomach will already be full. You can take nuts, you can take seeds. These are all very, very good. They're good in monounsaturated fat, which is a good fat, not a bad fat at all. So as long as you're careful eating it, you don't have to change completely to something else. All our ancestors in 1970, when my father saw 2% diabetes, they're not eating quinoa. Where did they have only 2% diabetes then? They were exercising more. And the rice was not as polished. All the rice mills came in the late 1970s. In 1974, I think, there were only 29 rice mills in India. Today there are 1 million rice mills. That's a change which has occurred. Okay, and then that time we used to walk. I used to walk to school. Okay. My grandson goes in the car. He can't walk today in the traffic, So that's the change which has taken place, which we must bring back. Next.
Hi, sir. Here.
So you mentioned that diabetes does not have symptoms, and also your research.
Need not have, can have, but it's late stage. Yeah.
Okay, and the research studies mention that even youth, say 20 years, the person is 20 years and they have diabetes. So what age would you say that a person should go and have the first test for diabetes, and how often people should have those tests?
Yeah. Depends on whether you have a family history of diabetes or not. If you have a strong family history of diabetes, even without symptoms, 20 should be the kind of minimum age when you should start. You shouldn't wait until you're 30, 40, because diabetes is coming younger and younger. The idea is to prevent it. There's no point in waiting till 30, 40, you'll be already having severe diabetes when you pick it up. So around 20 seems to be an ideal age. However, if your parents have got diabetes, every generation it comes about 10 to 15 years younger. So if your father and mother have already got it in their 20s and 30s, teenagers should start checking. If your father and mother got it in their 60s, when you're 35, 40, you can start checking. The 15, 20 year, we call it as a phenomenon of anticipation. So that happens. Now, having said that, my youngest child with type 2 diabetes, the adult type diabetes, is 7 years old. But I have only 4 below 10. So below 10, type 2 diabetes is very, very rare. I have 4. Okay? But type 1 diabetes, of course, that you cannot prevent and you cannot screen for that. That occurs at any age, right? From birth, you have that. Usually it's in children. And that you cannot prevent. And there's no need to go and screen for it. They'll have such severe symptoms within a week or two that they'll come with overt symptoms. So it's type 2. When you talk about diabetes, there are about 40 types of diabetes. But it's type 2 diabetes about 90%. Type 1 is about 3-4%. And all the other 38 types put together are the remaining 5-6%. Okay? So those are all rare. When they come to a hospital like ours, we'll pick up some of those rare types and find out. But the common, in general, if many of you are having diabetes, 90-95% of you have type 2 diabetes, which is the one by diet. I talked only about type 2 diabetes. I didn't talk about type 1 diabetes or the other rare types.
Doctor,
Yes.
this AccuCheck Aviva Plus,
Yeah.
is it available?
Yes. I think so.
This is from US. I could not get in medical shops.
Oh, well, if that's not there, the equivalent of that is available. So that's a Roche product. So AccuCheck is a Roche product, and then there are many other companies make it. LifeScan makes it. So it doesn't matter which strip you use or which meter you use, as long as from a reputed company, it should be good enough.
AccuCheck Aviva.
I think it is available.
I can check in your.
Yeah, I think it's available. Yeah. Otherwise, some other brand of AccuCheck will definitely be available.
But this we can use with that. This
Yes, I think so. We'll check and I'll let you know. Because we use mostly the LifeScan products. We do use some of the AccuCheck products.
Only 2 questions for Dr. Mohan
Only two, okay.
and Dr. Vinja. You told about that diabetic hospitals.
Yeah.
The public is asking another facility because your interesting first thing is advising the control of diabetes starts from diet.
Yeah.
Is there any mode of diabetic hotels? That's another important. Because there's another thing. Deepavali and all, I'm nowadays seeing lot of patients are coming and asking, please give me diabetic sweets. Diabetic sweet stalls are coming more in number now. Allow them to diabetic patient to permit to go and visit the diabetic sweet shops. There is also a question whether they can be permitted to take. That's what I know.
So I'll start with the second question first. So diabetic sweets, yes, they contain sweeteners, and in fact there are special shops in Chennai also which sell it. Desire is one product which is very popular here. Levulose, sucralose, these are all the things which are used as sweeteners. They are all sweeter than sugar. For example, you take a little bit of Splenda or sucralose. That much of it will be like 2 or 3 spoons of sugar. It's like 200 times sweeter than sugar, and yet it does not increase the sugar at all. It's just a sweet taste, and therefore it can be used. 30 years ago, there was a fear that it will produce cancer. That saccharin, theory was there that it might produce cancer. It produced cancer only in mice. It has never ever even one human being produced cancer. But then the fear came that any sweetener you take, you will get cancer. So far, no cancers have been reported after any sweetener. So sweeteners can be taken if you practice your taste buds to get used to without sugar. Nothing like it. You'll get the real taste of coffee and real taste of tea and so on at that thing. But if you need it, nothing is going to prevent you from taking the sweeteners. So even the diabetic sweets are okay from the sugar point of view. Remember, however, the sweets are filled with ghee and calories. that you cannot escape. So they are still very high in fat, they are very high in saturated fat, they are very high in calories. Only the sugar part is missing. So if you ask me, are they healthy? They are not healthy. Okay. I would say for Diwali, have a regular sweet. Why do you want to eat the pseudo one? Eat the regular sweet and then forget about it and exercise a little bit more. That will be better than trying to take a pseudo sweet with something in it and then thinking there's nothing in it and then eating more of that and having more problems with that. Doesn't matter, we all sin now and then, doesn't matter. It's quite okay.
What about stevia, doctor? Is it better than the other one?
Stevia comes from plants and therefore it is from South American plant actually. So it is also being plant-based, it's a little more popular. Has a little bit of aftertaste, a bitter aftertaste, which now they've debitterized a little bit. So stevia is also good. My favorite is Splenda, so which is sucralose. Sucralose is a derivative of sugar, which doesn't increase the sugar. So Splenda or sucralose. Then levulose is there, aspartame is there. So all these are there. So it's a choice. And in any case, you're taking a small, one drop if it's a liquid, or one tablet, or a small piece of sachet with just a little bit in it, few grains in it. That's all you're taking. There's been no studies ever done to show. Again, if you go to the internet, it'll tell you all kinds of things, but there's been no scientific study to show that they are harmful. Okay, so they can definitely be used if you as a substitute for sugar if you want.
I am having 2 tablets. Glycinam M40 in morning, night M80 I am taking. Suppose morning I am going for some good lunch like that. Shall I take my glycinam M80 in morning also? Can I increase myself that dosage? Is it right?
Theoretically, there's nothing wrong. The problem with the practical aspect of that is you cannot kind of titrate it and say for so much more I'll take 80 and for so much more I'll take less I'll take 40. It becomes very crude. It's easier in those who have type 1 diabetes where you take something and they're taking insulin through a pump or something very easy to match. This kind of a thing is a little more difficult. So I would say you exercise a little bit more instead of change, because suppose it overcorrects, then what will happen? You already taken a sweet, okay, or something, and then for that you have taken 80 instead of 40. Now you get a low sugar after 2 hours. Then again you will take a sweet. Now what will happen? Again you go. Now you take another 40 or 80. So it goes on and on. It doesn't become a right after that, So better is okay. Today I've eaten that, I'm going to walk a little bit more. That's it.
One more.
That's it. Yeah.
Suppose that I am taking before meals. Suppose one day I have forgotten to take that one. So shall I take after meal?
You can take after meal. Nothing. It's not that if you take it after food, it won't work or anything. If you've been asked to take before food, the idea is that the moment you eat, it will start raising. Sugar will start raising. If you take it before, it will go and cut it. Okay, that postprandial peak. You're going to take it after, it's already reached the peak. Okay, and then it's going to stay like that. If you don't take it at all, it's going to stay for much longer. So you might as well take it if you've forgotten. A human being can't say nobody will ever forget to take a tablet. Doesn't matter. But try to follow it 90% of the time. Even in the AGP and the Libre and all which I showed you, I didn't say 100%, they're only 70%. Okay, HbA1c we only said below 7. Normal is 5.5. We didn't even talk about that. We only talked about below 7. So we're giving an allowance to people with diabetes. We're not trying to make them like a non-diabetic. That's very difficult. Then you'll get a lot of low sugars, you'll get a lot of problems. The quality of life won't be.
Last question.
You said that individualized treatment is possible. Is it based on only the CGM or are there other technologies available?
It's not just based on technology alone. It's also based on your age, for example. So individualized treatment. Suppose somebody comes with 30 years old. Okay, I said people lived up to 70, 80, 90, 40, 50 years. Obviously, they all come at a much younger age. And obviously, they maintain very good control. I just now said below 7% is enough for HbA1c. Suppose you're 30 years old and then you came, I'll say try for 6, try for 5.8. Because even if he gets a little low sugar, it's not going to kill him. He's 30 years old. He can take it. And that's the only time when he can maintain that good control for as long as possible. So we'll be very strict with that particular person. Somebody who's got diabetes when he's 65 years old. Okay? And that time I'm not going to say aim for 6 HbA1c. It's dangerous. You may trigger a heart attack or a stroke in that person. We'll say 7 is enough, 7.5, okay. Suppose 75 years old. 8 is okay, it doesn't matter because you have to live another 20-30 years to develop complications. It takes 20-30 years to develop complications. So when you're 100 years old, 110 years old, whether you'll get complication or not, now itself getting low sugar tomorrow, which is more dangerous. So that is called individualization. Similarly, certain medicines cannot be used where creatinine is high. You have to stop them. Creatinine is normal, then you can use all medicines. Okay, I may choose to give insulin to a younger person who needs aggressive control. To an older person, insulin go slow with it. That's fine. That is individualization based on your age, your HbA1c, the type of presentation, the type of diabetes, and all your other comorbid conditions. Somebody's already got a heart attack. Now with diabetes, be careful now. Second heart attack you should not get. Somebody who's not got anything, we can go a little bit more aggressive. And then of course we use techniques like CGM or something to help further in that. So it's a complex, when you say individualization, not just one technique or one thing, it's putting it all together, that is individualization. That's called personalized medicine or precision diagnosis.
Doctor, this last question, sir. What would be the specific foods to be avoided?
See, you can classify fruits into those which have a high glycemic index, medium and low. So the ones with the low glycemic index are guava, apple and orange, okay, watermelon, papaya. These are in the lowest category. Next category will come pineapple and grapes and so on. Then in the last category will come mangoes, jackfruit. These are all very sweet with a very, very high glycemic index. There's a guy going around talking about mangoes. If you see that also must have come. Just eat 6 mangoes a day, and after one month, 2 months, your diabetes is cured. Never ask your diabetes specialist because he'll never allow you to do that. And he'll bring some fruit, something, and put it in a glucometer and say, see, sugar didn't go up. Glucometer doesn't answer to fructose, it only answers to glucose. But the public doesn't know that. Then he gets big round of applause and everybody's cheering. Oh, then he says, see, you must eat all mangoes. 6 mangoes a day is enough. And 3 months, you won't have diabetes. Why? Because you'll be dead. So you won't have diabetes when you're dead. So he doesn't tell you that. And then lot of cheering and lot of things. Every mango season, you find the sugars shooting up like that. HbA1c would have been 6.57 before the mango season. They'll come at 9, 10 after the mango season. You see, every year we've been seeing, unless they've made mangoes differently now. I don't think so. So there are.
Usually people say that some particular variety of banana is okay for diabetes.
Everything is okay, madam. See, even it doesn't mean that mango is sin and mango will kill you or something like that. Even I'm talking about mango, sweetest mango I'm saying about. Take a little bit, take 1 or 2 pieces and be happy. Otherwise, a craving will come. Entire mango season, I didn't eat mango, you'll get depressed, and then your sugar will go. So it's like denying yourself, But if you take 2 mangoes a day, your sugar will go high. So moderation and everything. What they say in the end, moderation and everything. Never said don't touch mango. Don't. I'm saying they want to eat sweet itself. No, instead of eating all these, sweetened things and all, eat proper sweet. Enjoy yourself. Have a rasgulla. KC Das is good. Enjoy 1 or 2 once in a way. Don't worry. You have diabetes. So, but you must be careful. Overdoing anything is bad. So even banana can be taken. I allow banana. I'll tell you a true story. It's a true story. 95-year-old lady. She came. Her HbA1c is like 6.8 or something. Okay, perfectly controlled. Fasting is normal. Postprandial is normal. Everything is normal. She's 95 years old. Okay. Then she said, and her granddaughter is standing next to her. She's standing there, and this lady is asking, Doctor, கேட்கலாமா? கேட்கலாம். 95 years she's asking, HbA1c is normal, sugar is normal, everything is normal. Before I could even answer, the granddaughter is saying, சாப்பிடக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கோம்ல, பின்ன ஏன் இந்த மாதிரி கேட்குற? So I looked at the granddaughter and said, உன்னை கேட்டாங்களா இல்ல என்ன கேட்டாங்களா? உன்னை கேட்கல, என்ன தானே கேட்டாங்க? நான் கொஞ்சம் ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாமா? Okay, then she shut up. I said, தாராளமா எடுத்துக்கணும். I said, she started crying. உண்மையாவா? I can eat my banana. I felt so bad. No, 95-year-old lady ஒரு banana இந்த மாதிரி பண்றாங்க. I said, daily சாப்பிடுமா? ஒண்ணா சாப்பிடுமா? That lady, she's looking at me and so very sin பண்ண மாதிரி granddaughter is looking at me. I said, நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன். Go. Oh, she's crying a bit. ஐயோ, இது போதும் எனக்கு. என்ன இறந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல. நான் சாப்பிட்டே இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல. I said, so see, carrying it to extreme degrees, which is not at all necessary. Life is never like that, So you can always have a little bit. So anytime, suppose it gives you, relieves your constipation, it's helping you, take it, no? I'll just cut down a little more rice, take one banana. What is everything will happen?
Doctor, is it advisable to have 2 pills of garlic before going to bed every day with the buttermilk in the night?
Two pills of what?
Garlic.
Oh, garlic. Yeah, garlic is definitely good. So onion, garlic is supposed to be good for cholesterol. There are garlic pearls which used to be made earlier. So it's really good. Another thing which is really good is turmeric. Turmeric, anti-cancer, anti-diabetes, anti-inflammatory. If you have a sore throat, you just take little hot milk with turmeric and it will clear. Ginger. There's no better thing for a cold or cough than ginger. No antihistamine can help you like that. Just powder the ginger, crush it and just take it. Next day your throat is clear.
Can Vendium be taken, doctor?
Vendium is very good. Vendium is excellent. Vendium has been shown to have anti-diabetic properties. National Institute of Nutrition has several papers on it. So Vendium is good. You can take it as you can put it in whatever you're cooking. Vendium is a high fiber. It has got some anti-diabetic properties and it's extremely healthy to take Vendium. No problem. You can take it.
Thank you so much, Doctor. On the occasion of Children's Day and World Diabetes Day, as part of PEP initiatives, we went to a lot of schools to actually spread awareness about juvenile diabetes and managing diabetes in the family. So there are a lot of people who won a drawing contest on My Sweet Family. I'll trouble you to take a photo with some of them. I'm calling them here. Helen Miss, Ganapati, Yamini, Kushi, Tarana, Sanya, Aklar, Tarun, Bhupati, Kirtana, Sanjana. One-time opportunity to take a photo with you, sir. Thank you so much. They all drew something about their sweet family, and their parents were introduced to the whole juvenile diabetes awareness. They can all stand, Maria.
In the bottom. Okay, photograph. Come. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Mohan. Dr. Velu, may I trouble you to please give a good token of our gratitude to Dr. Mohan as well. Thank you all once again. Thank you, Dr. Mohan. It's been such a privilege. Thank you so much for taking out time for us. Thank you all for coming. There's food in the back. And have a nice evening. Thank you. Yes, diabetic food, yes.
சென்னை மாநகரம் பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் 25% மக்கள் நீரிழிவு நோய் இருக்காங்க. இதுவே வந்து 40% மக்களுக்கு நீரிழிவு நோய் இருக்கு. நீரிழிவுடைய previous கட்டம், pre-diabetic stage 75% மக்களுக்கு சென்னையில் 55 வயசுக்கு அப்புறம் நீரிழிவு நோயும் டயபெட்டிஸும் pre-diabetic stage இருக்கு. அதனால prevention is very important. நீரிழிவு நோய் இருக்கிற ஃபேமிலிஸ்ல எல்லாரும் செக்அப் எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணி ரைஸ் குவான்டிட்டி குறைச்சிட்டு காய்கறிகள் நிறைய எடுத்துட்டு எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணி யோகா பிராணாயாமா மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் எல்லாம் குறைச்சிட்டிங்கன்னா நீரிழிவு நோய் வர்றதை வந்து சுத்தமாக தடுக்க முடியும். அப்படி நீரிழிவு நோய் வந்தவங்களுக்கு ரிவர்ஸ் பண்ணணும். கம்ப்ளீட்டாக நீரிழிவு இல்லாத ஒரு கட்டத்துக்கு அப்படி நீரிழிவு நோய் இருக்கிறவங்க வந்து இப்போ தொண்ணூறு வயசு 95 வயசு 100 வயசு கூட இருக்கலாம். சிக்கல்கள் இல்லாமல் காம்ப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் இல்லாமல் ஆரோக்கியத்துடன் இருக்கலாம்ன்றது இப்போ நிரூபிச்சிருக்கோம். அதனால நீரிழிவு நோய் காரியம் கிடையாது. ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு குறை உடம்புல இருக்கிற சின்ன குறை. ஆனால் அதை கவனிச்சு நல்லா பார்த்துக்கிறேன்னா எல்லா காம்ப்ளிகேஷனும் வந்துடும். 10 வருஷம் 15 வருஷத்துல எல்லா உறுப்புகளும் டேமேஜ் ஆகிறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. இந்த வாய்ப்பு வந்து விட்டுடக்கூடாது. சிம்டம்ஸ்க்காக வெயிட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. அறிகுறி வரலையே, நல்லா தான் இருக்கேன், நல்லா தான் இருப்பீங்க, ஆனால் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி பார்த்தா சுகர் நிறைய இருக்கலாம். அதனால சிம்டம்ஸ் வந்து வெயிட் பண்ண வேண்டாம், அறிகுறிக்கு வெயிட் பண்ண வேண்டாம். நீங்களே போய் செக்அப் பண்ணி ஆண்டுக்கு ஒரு முறை ஒரு கம்ப்ளீட் செக்அப் பண்ணிட்டு 3 மாதத்துக்கு ஒரு தடவை இந்த 3 மாதம் கண்ட்ரோல் டெஸ்ட், அது இந்த கிட்னி டெஸ்ட்டு இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா, கொலஸ்ட்ரால் இதெல்லாம் வந்து கண்ட்ரோலில் வச்சுட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா நீரிழிவு நோயை பற்றி பயப்படவே வேண்டாம்.
You do what you think is right. We all should do what we think is right.
I don't know. Elementary, human available for all. They can test it out for themselves.
Okay, that's why we have to communicate, and we never tell people only follow what we have said. You have to keep
Let your ideas float.
yeah.
Huh?
Good. I give you my card. No? அப்படியா? ஓகே. நல்லா பண்றாங்க. ஓகே.